chosen Comfort Zone Camps to be our July nonprofit of the month, and we are so excited to have them. We always try to pick an organization that either is near and dear to one of our hearts or something about the month is relatable to what's happening in the organization. So, Comfort Zone Camp is who we have this month, and I would love to hear. I don't know anything. I hadn't heard of Comfort Zone Camp. You met one of our staff, and she had heard of you guys. And how did this happen? Like, how did you guys come about? What is the history of the Comfort Zone Camp?
I'm Meredith Bryant, and I'm a development manager with Comfort Zone Camp. Close to 3 years I've been working with them, but they've been near and dear to my heart for over 25 years. Lynn Hughes started Comfort Zone Camp because she lost both of her parents at a very young age. She lost her mother when she was 9 and then her father when she was 12. And she didn't really have a sense of normalcy after that because everything had changed. Everything is different in your life and your surroundings when you have two very impactful traumatic losses back to back. But when she went back to summer camp was the first time she felt kind of normal again and really enjoyed the activities of summer camp and felt like she could be a kid again and not just be someone who is identified as losing both parents. She became a camp counselor when she was a little bit older, and that's where she met her husband. And then later down the road, of course, she decided to make it all in one encompassing event and have it be a camp where you can come and do the things that kids love and enjoy with summer camp, but you're also targeting that grief side so that they can focus on learning coping mechanisms, talk about their grief, again, in an environment that's safe. They're with kids their own age. They are not alone at that point. It was created in Richmond, Virginia, but we grew because 9/11 happened shortly after. And there wasn't anything with this kind of program structured that way in the New York and New Jersey area. And they said, will you come up here and help us with these families? And so Comfort Zone did. And then we still have multiple camps a year in New York and New Jersey now, but we've expanded in 12 other states nationally as well, besides being prominent in Virginia. She actually was envisioning more of a boots on the ground in one spot. Brick and mortar, I like to say, as much as you can make a camp brick and mortar in Virginia and have everyone come to us, but with traveling for helping the 9/11 families, that changed everything. And it was just proven to be so effective that they've been able to take that and go to many different locations in different regions of the country and be able to serve more kids in those different areas. It's a really well-oiled machine, and it doesn't work without our volunteers, which we'll talk more about later. But the mission was to empower every grieving child to heal, grow, and lead a more fulfilling life. Okay. And the vision is a society that is actively engaging in meeting the ongoing and complex needs of grieving children. Okay. It takes over 100 people to put on a camp of 60 kids. Okay. Each child is assigned a big buddy for the whole weekend. They serve as their shadow mentor person that's going around the whole weekend with that individual. And so aside from having 60 campers and 60 volunteers, then you have the camp facility who helps run the logistics of the facility and feed everyone and give us a place to stay. And then our camp program team that does all the facilitating of the activities throughout the whole weekend. Okay. It's booked all weekend long with jam-packed so that they're constantly transitioning from something fun and exciting and making them feel like a kid again, and then they move into a healing circle. Okay. A third of our volunteers right now are previous campers. So they grew up, we're 27 years old now. Okay. So a lot of these campers, when they were ages 7 to 17, they've since grown up and they come back and they're big buddies. And of course, they're incredible big buddies because they have lived it breathed it, and they've been there. They know the structure of the camp.
Oh, I
They know
love
what
that.
it feels like to have the loss.
I love
And then a lot of our Healing Circle leaders are clinicians
that. Okay.
that are qualified clinicians to
Okay.
lead the Healing
Okay.
Circles. Our camps, we have about 33 camps a year
In Virginia
throughout
or
throughout the country,
Okay.
and they start in March and run through about November. And then in Virginia, we're in the Richmond area. We have 2 locations, and then we're also in Palmyra and Williamsburg.
Okay.
So we get referred a lot of times by schools with counselors in the schools that know of something that has taken place with a family. We get referred by different clinicians and psychologists and therapists.
Okay.
A lot of word of mouth,
Yeah.
a lot of social media. We have an incredible marketing team
Okay.
that helps keep us fresh and new and doing things that really catch people's attention
Okay.
on all the different social media platforms.
So if you are just in our community and you've heard about what you guys are doing, how could a potential volunteer get involved?
ComfortZoneCamp.org
Okay.
is our website.
Okay.
We have a very thorough website that's brand new,
Okay.
and they can easily click on the camp calendar to see where our camps are, what the
Okay.
dates are, and then you can click into the volunteer application and fill it in right there on the website. There is a small training that's about 2 to 3 hours long.
Okay.
We offer them in person and virtually, depending
Okay.
on what area someone is from.
Okay. And is there an age requirement of how old you have to be a volunteer?
To be a Big Buddy, 18 years old
Okay.
and higher. And we do have what we call a junior counselor. They're about 15 years old and higher, and they just come and they assist during the Healing Circle. They help the Healing Circle leader. We have Healing Circle assistants as well, but it's someone to help with the Big Buddies, with taking the kids from one spot to another is sometimes a big transition, going from one area of the campsite to another. So it's just another set of eyes. And it's a younger person, so the kids really relate to that person as well. Yes.
Now, do you ever have a waiting list for your camps?
We do. Sometimes, especially some of the more popular camps. We have one camp every summer that's called our 4-day camp. So it's 3 nights instead of 2 nights. And we do something called zone games during that camp. And so it's like some special things that happen that don't happen at every other camp. So
Okay.
there's always a major waiting list for that one.
Wow.
But for each camp, there is a waiting list. And a lot of times someone does have to drop before camp. So then we're able to pull someone from the waiting
Okay.
list.
Okay.
They do go through a screening process
Okay.
to make sure the child is in the right place to come to camp. You know, it's a good fit for them and for us. It should be at least 3 months after the loss has
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
So it's not
Super
immediate.
fresh. Yeah.
Right.
And is there a cost to attend the camp?
No, the camps are for free.
Okay,
So
they're not for free. You guys raise enough money, I'm assuming, throughout the year.
yes.
Okay, so what does that look like?
So in development, we fundraise through events that we have.
Okay.
We have events in Richmond and all over the country in different regions, but
Okay.
primarily the ones that I focus on are in Virginia. We have a gala every year.
Okay.
And last year we were able to bring in almost $500,000
Okay.
for that gala. It costs about $60,000 to run an entire camp weekend.
Okay.
So we do fundraising events. We have pickleball event. We have a
Okay.
cornhole event. Different places in the country. We have movie nights and cider fest and different things of that nature. But we also are very heavily funded by our sponsors for the events that we have.
Okay.
So I get sponsors to sponsor the event. They get a lot of marketing recognition,
Okay.
and they also attend the events with the tickets that they receive as part of their sponsorship.
And when is your gala? And do you have one in Richmond?
Yes.
When is that one?
So the one in Richmond this year is December 5th.
Okay.
It's Saturday, December 5th
Okay.
at the Altria Theater.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have a sit-down dinner this year for
Okay.
up to 500 people. And we'll have dancing and live music. And we have a silent auction We have cocktails on the stage of the Altria Theater, and that's where the silent auction is set up.
Very
And then
cool.
when we move into the ballroom, we also have a live auction. We have a presentation. Every event we throw, we have a camper speaker that comes and speaks about their loss, how they were affected by camp, and how they're doing since they've been to Comfort Zone Camp. So you're getting that impact.
Yep.
People are seeing it firsthand. And so on Facebook, we do have multiple pages. There's a basic Comfort Zone Camp one, but then there's also Comfort Zone Camp Virginia, North Carolina, New York, New Jersey, California. So there's different ones if people are looking for things specifically in their own area. But looking at the website, if you go to fundraising events, it's broken down by the whole nation, and you can see each state. Right.
To say I want to support this organization. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons I pick certain nonprofits, because I feel like I want to give you guys a bigger platform, more awareness, because if we're talking about it and our people are talking about it, and then more people are talking about it, then people not only know what you guys are doing, but then you're a resource to someone who's going through a really hard time. I mean, you heard from one of our leadership team that how it impacted her life, and still to this day does, of wanting to be a volunteer now that she was impacted so much by the leadership and the volunteers that she benefited from through going through a similar situation, that now she wants to give back. So I think this gives people that opportunity as well, by bringing more awareness. So thank you.
The awareness is
huge.
Something that we live for, because we want everyone to know about Comfort Zone Camp and that our services are available. And somebody everywhere knows somebody, unfortunately, that has been impacted by a loss.
100%.
So our youth and family coordinators are really remarkable in that sense, where they have different ways they can talk parents and to teach parents into getting their child to get there. Because once we get them there, they're pretty hooked and they don't want to leave. People pick their children up on Sunday and say, this is a whole different child. They wouldn't stop talking about it in the car on the way home. This is the first time I've heard them use so-and-so's name, or, things of that nature. But yes, we see it all the time where, someone might be nervous or a little anxious. The Big Buddy does a phone call before camp. A few days before camp, you can do a FaceTime or do a Zoom call or just a phone call. When Sadie and I first met, we were on FaceTime, and just hearing her sweet voice and then seeing her face was really helpful for when we both arrived at camp. She knew who to look for. I knew who to look for. And that a lot of times the Big Buddy can talk about camp and ask the child, different things about what they're interested in or what they're most looking forward to try to get them excited. Some kids are dying to do archery, and if they hear there's archery there, they're like, I'm in. Some kids have never been fishing in their life, and they learn to fish and catch a fish. So they're just dying to come after that.
Is there a minimum age the kids have to be?
7 years old. 7 to 17 years old. Or if you're a senior in high school, you can be 18 if you're still in high school. But then we do have a young adult program that's ages 18 to 25. That one runs a couple times a year as well. We do have some of our camps in different regions that are loss-specific camps. So most of our camps are general loss, but then there's a few that are just for overdose loss, and then there's another one for just suicide loss. And then we also have some of our camps that have an adult program that coincides with the camper program. So I lost a child. If my child was attending, my other child was attending camp, I could come as a mom who's lost a child. Or that child lost their parent, I could come as a mom who's lost my spouse, or a wife that's lost my spouse, or vice versa.
So as an adult there, are you interacting with your kid, or are you just kind of there?
You're in a separate part of the camp facility, but you're doing a lot of the same things, but in a more mature level. So you're seeing firsthand what they're doing, but not by directly observing them.
Thank you guys for what you do.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be here and be a part of the organization and support you guys in any way we can. We will get the word out about your events that you're having. We'll post them to all of our social media, and then throughout this month, you're going to hear all about Comfort Zone camps, how you can be involved, what you can do to be a part of just the healing process for the plenty of kids in our in our local community that are hurting. So thank you guys and have a great day.
Thank you.